So let's convey the history of the R40 slant slash R40M. So let's get started with the video. So in the 1960s, more and more people were getting cars, and travel by automobile was getting more popular. So in 1965, the MTA, which was recently created, reached out to Raymond Loewy and Associates design firm to design a new train that will attract people to ride the subway. So Raymond Loewy and design firm had an idea, unique and futuristic, with its 10-degree slant end, and it was called the R40. Because of its unique 10-degree slant, and that most trains at the time had a straight end, this made it stand out and look unique, which attracted people to ride the subway because it had its slant-ended design. The first R40s entered TA property in November 1967, in January 1968 they were sent back to St. Louis to be rebuilt into a complete pair since they were incomplete. The first R40 slants entered service on March 23rd, 1968, originally on the Pink F line between Coney Island, Stillwell Avenue and Jamaica 179th Street. So in late 1968, the MTA ordered a supplementary 200 car order from the St. Louis Car Company called R40As. The first 100 cars of the R40A fleet were slant-ended like the R40s were, but there was a difference because they had air conditioning. However, soon there was proved a problem with the slant-ended design, because when passengers were crossing between cars, they could easily fall onto the track. So throughout 1968 and 1969, handholds, which were an upgrade from the previous low handholds, were retrofitted to the slanted ends of the cars to prevent this, along with chains and pantograph gates. The next 100 R40As were the straight-ended design because the slant end design was proved to be dangerous, and this straight end was designed by the company Sunderberg Farrar. They entered service on March 6, 1969, along with the slant-ended R40As on the F line first as well, just like the R40s. These straight-ended R40As had chains put on them, but didn't have pantograph gates or handholds, and the handholds were not needed because of their straight-ended design. After the R40s had their debut on the F and E, they were moved to Coney Island Yard, where they spent most of their lives on the B, N, Q, and W. Along with that, when Graffiti struck the R40s in the early 70s / early 80s, this worsened their condition and over time made them more weak until the general overhaul program. In addition to this, pantograph gates were finally added to the R40As, which were nicknamed R40Ms now. Then in 1985, as part of the general overhaul program, the R40s were refurbished. They were refurbished by Sumitomo Corp of America. Doors were swapped and rebuilt so they have smaller windows, repainted so that the blue stripe that was on the 1960s cars was removed, as well as the graffiti being removed and structural issues being fixed and being cleaned. Rail fans nicknamed the R40 slants because of their unique 10-degree slant end, or just R40Ss, while the straight-ended R40s were nicknamed R40Ms since they were the modified versions of the R40 slants. In the 2000s, the R40s began to show some structural defects, As can be seen here on this picture, the pantograph gates have some rusting along with the front part, along with the roof slash front part, along the front door, along the front storm door. Because the R40s were built and refurbished with carbon steel, whenever it would rain, the R40 structure would start breaking down and rusting. With the first R160 cars entering service in 2005, there was decided, considering the R40's structure, the R40's structural issues, that the R160s would retire the R40s. In autumn 2007, until June 2009, the R40s were slowly taken out of service and then dumped into the Atlantic Ocean as artificial reefs. Along with the R40s being slowly retired, the R40Ms also began retiring at the start of January 2009, with the last train leaving service on August 28, 2009. On June 12, 2009, the R40s made its last rounds on the A, with the last run being from Inwood 207th Street to Far Rockaway and Watt Avenue, leaving Inwood 207th Street at 7:30 p.m. and arriving at Far Rockaway and Watt Avenue at 9:30 p.m. And that was the last run of the R40 slants. After the last trains were retired and taken out of service, most of them were scrapped or reefed, but 2 slant-ended cars have been preserved by the Transit Museum and still run on the train of many metals, along with the six straight-ended R40Ms, in which 2 of which are in the museum fleet. Along with that, 1 straight-ended R40M car has been paired with 1 R42 after they both lost their mates in the 1995 Williamsburg Bridge subway crash. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye bye.